Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel Physics Surgery, and here we are in Pathfinder Solutions series, and we are in the topic of EMI and AC. In the chapter there is an objective section, and this is question number 15. The idea for taking up this problem is to present a very short video, and there are many ways of solving this particular problem as I will present the formal wording, but my view is that this problem gets solved much easier once you use the phasor diagram analysis. Okay, so this will illustrate the beauty of phasors when you understand it well. Okay, so let's go ahead with the formal wording of the question. I would urge you to read the question on your own, try to formulate a try and a solution, and then come back to see the view that I'm going to present. Okay, so here we go, and please do stay till the end of the video. It's a very short one. I'll be presenting a practice problem on the phasor analysis, which is at a JE advanced level. Okay, so let's try it out. A circuit shown consists of two resistances R1 and R2 of equal and fixed values, a variable resistors capital R, a capacitor of capacitance C, and an alternating voltage source. If the variable resistance is made to vary over a wide range, how does the peak voltage between the terminals A and B change? Between A and B, he's asking. First decreases, then increases, first option. First increases and then decreases to a constant value, and option D is remains unchanged. Okay, have a try and then we'll go ahead with the solution I'm going to present. Before we start off, right, I would urge you, if you are new to this channel, to go through one of the videos that I have produced. I think this was an old video, 2 months back, I think, but it's very good video on the phasor analysis. Actually, the particular problem that you see on the thumbnail of the screen, I have presented two solutions. One is using the phasor analysis, and also using the complex number analysis. So for those Olympiad aspirants who are interested in complex number analysis, they should be going through this video. The link is in the description or in the I button above. Okay, right. Assuming that you have watched this video, I'm going ahead. So the idea is that if you are given this particular circuit, he's talking about the equal resistors R and R, right? Here resistances are equal in the question that he has mentioned. This is a capacitance and this is the variable resistor. So what I've done is to represent the phasor diagram. I need some letters so that I can borrow into the phasor diagram, as you could see on the left. So the bottom thing, you can call it as a common or a ground or the zero potential. I've marked it as O. And then S is the source voltage. OS vector or the phasor should represent the source voltage. Okay, all these values I will consider them as the RMS values. Okay, so if this OS has to be represented, you can also represent them as a summation of AS and OA. But the beauty is that whenever any voltage source is across a resistor, the voltage and the current across this should be in same phase. Okay, and therefore the voltage across each of these should be half and also in phase with each other. So it's very simple. The value of OS phasor, which is the voltage across source, can be cut into two equal halves of OA and AS in phase with that particular thing. So current is along this direction and also the voltages are along this direction. Now coming to the OS here, remember the source voltage is also across the combination of the capacitor and this variable resistor. Now this OB and BS that you have, they'll have same current, and but the current when it passes through resistor produces a voltage which would be 90 degrees with the voltage that would be there across PS. That's quite obvious. You should have watched the previous video in which I speak of a phrase Eli the Iceman, and in capacitor the current always leads the voltage by 90 degrees. Okay, so to show that 90 degrees, I've drawn OB phasor, the resistant red one here, and the BS phasor at 90 degrees to each other. Now imagine I'm varying this resistance value. You should realize that the net sum of these voltages should be same because the source voltage is not being varied. So the individual values of these two will vary. That means if I were to change the red colored resistor value, I can change this resistance, this OB phasor, but the next phasor should be adjusted in such a way that the sum of these two phasors should always be this OS. So think, if I vary this resistor, this B point will change itself in this space, but it should sum up to the OS one Not only that, the OB and BS should be at 90 degrees with each other. So locus of B should move in this plane in such a way that OBS is always 90 degrees, and that will tell us by geometry that B should lie on a circular arc with A as the center. Okay, so if you are good at geometry, you should be able to realize that. Okay, so if I bring this semicircle, because circle or semicircle, I think this should serve our purpose. This is what I'm arguing here. The B point can move on to any point. So if let's say B is somewhere here, then OB would be here, BS would be here, but that included angle in a semicircle would be 90 degrees. Okay, and since A is the center, the length of this AB that you are watching here, which is nothing but the voltage that AB would be read. That means, let's suppose you put a voltmeter in between them, it would be reading the length AB. Yes, the phasor direction will change, but the length of this AB as B moves on this semicircle would be the radius, and therefore it shouldn't change at all. That brings us to a conclusion that I was trying to talk about. So B lies on the semicircle with A as center, therefore AB length has to be a constant. Okay, so wait for the practice problem. Let me mark the answer here. Okay, so the answer should be it remains unchanged using the phasor analysis. We didn't use any complex analysis, any equations. Just by pure geometry of phasors, we could conclude this. So here's the practice problem. In the AITS Select series, I'll take up the solution. Very simple one, JEE advanced level. You should be able to crack this if you're good at phasors. Okay, you can try it out using complex number analysis also, but I would urge you to practice your phasor understanding. Okay, so read the question on your own, try it out, and comment the answer below in the comment section. Okay, so if you want to try out other series that I have presented in this, all the links of the playlists are in the description below. I would urge you to play them in a loop, one after another. Watch 3 or 4 videos. You will try to gain a lot from each and every video that I try to present in a slightly different manner. Okay, so in case you like this video, please do like it, share it amongst your friends groups, Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever. I try to help me gain some more subscribers and base, so that it motivates me to provide this quality content time and again. Okay, so thank you. See you in the next video.